Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Eljay Johnsen Show. This show airs every single Saturday, every weekend at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, unless specified otherwise, over on Twitter at the Eljay Johnsen, where you can find updates and guest announcements every single Tuesday. And if you want to ask me a question over the week, make sure you head on over to my email, eljayjohnsen@gmail.com. Remember, that's JOHNSEN. All right, perfect. Worked like a charm. We're on time. This could not go better, especially because I am super excited for my next guest. He is a MOCist in the Bionicle community. However, he works almost exclusively with system. He does fascinating, excellent work. He's made many MOCs, specifically surrounding TTV's Generation 3 of Bionicle done in system. He's absolutely excellent. I'm super stoked to talk to him. It's, of course, Sokoda. How you doing today?
Hi LJ, I'm fine, thanks. Thanks for
Awesome.
having me.
Of course. Well, thanks for taking the time. Listen, man. Like, I cannot stress this enough. I'm such a big fan of all of the mocks you make. Like, they're just so good. They're so awesome.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, how have things been? I mean, I know we talked about this before the show started, but how's the weather been?
Yeah. So today we had like a pretty heavy storm. It rained a lot, but I was inside, so it it wasn't that horrible for me. I like rain by looking at it, so it's fine, I guess.
That's fair. Reasonable. That's good. Yeah, I'd offer, if you didn't like the rain, I'd take it. Because it's a nice sunny day outside, and the weather, it's like this nice, perfect temperature. It's like, oh, it's a picture perfect spring day. But I'll take the rain. But that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, go ahead.
it's not raining anymore, but yeah, it's pretty late in the night now, but
Yeah,
here,
no, that's
so
fair.
I can't give it to you.
I think from the region of the world that you're at, which I don't know if you want public or not. I
Yeah,
think
it's okay. Yeah, I'm from Germany.
okay, fair enough. I think you're my first guest from Germany. I'm reasonably confident, so it's really cool. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into things. So please go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into Lego and the community.
Okay, so I'm Sokoda. I build Lego Marks, mostly digital LDD stuff. Um, I'm a fan of Bionicle, Star Wars, Ninjago. Those are like my main Lego themes I like. But I like basically all of them. I love Exoforce, Marvel, DC stuff. So I like a lot of different Lego stuff. I can't really tell how I got into Lego because it's like it's been there since I can remember. I
Mm-hmm.
like had Duplo as a baby. So before I remember, I already had Lego, and it's basically the same with Bionicle. I don't remember building my first Bionicle set, but my mom told me the story.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 3 years old back then. It was in '01. And my brother got Pohatu Mata as a gift,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't care about it that much and just had it standing around in the canister. And I just picked it up and built it. So, but I don't remember this anymore. I was like a little child. And yeah, since then I'm hooked and I got Bionicle whenever new ones came out. So since then I'm a Bionicle fan.
Goodness gracious! So you're my second guest in a row that has predated me as far as being a fan of the of the franchise is concerned. Because you got into it in '01, and I was late '02, early '03. So that's crazy. So your first set would be Pohatu Mata in that instance, by technicality.
By technicality, because it was it was my brother's set.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the first set I got was Matau, the Turaga Matau.
Oh, not a bad
Yeah.
choice. I like Turaga Matau. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how did that continue on and then branch into you joining the community?
Okay, so it continued on that in around 2008, I guess. I got really big into the Clone Wars Lego stuff and branched out from Bionicle to Clone Wars and later, when Bionicle ended, to Ninjago. And I also played Lego Universe, the online game.
Okay.
and they had building contests like every month or so where you could win different Lego sets. And I wanted to enter and didn't always have all the pieces I wanted, so I got really into using LDD.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I've used LDD before, but before Lego Universe, LDD just had like a few pieces, and with Lego Universe, they added like every piece in every color, and that's how I really got into using LDD.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I um, from then on, yeah, Lego Universe ended, but I kept on going. I kept on going, but building LDD, but I never like shared it anywhere. I just built it for myself. And then I got the idea to put something up on Lego Ideas, and that's how I got into rendering LDD stuff, which I still do today.
Okay. And so these creations that you put on Ideas, were they of franchises, prior IP addresses, and
So
so on and so forth?
yeah, I've built like 4 or 5 models I put up on Lego Ideas. I think the first one was okay. Back then, Lego Ideas didn't have that many rules on which franchises to put up and which aren't allowed. And I built like stuff from Ninjago that was never a set. I built like the stone mech that Klaus uses to fight Jay in Tournament of Elements. If you remember that one.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, and I built that one as a model and put it up on Lego Ideas. And I also built 2 sets from Green Lantern, the animated series, TV
Mm.
show I really like.
Mm-hmm.
And later, the Samurai X Cave from Ninjago, which wasn't a set at that time. But a
That's
couple
fair.
months after I put it up, the set was announced.
Great, they just took your idea, man. They just you made the set for them, and they just ripped it off and released it. No,
Yeah, and the same thing happened to me again last year because I built the Stone Warrior in the Ant-Man figure style. Put it up,
no.
and they released that one.
Oh no! Great. Well, sorry, I misintroduced you. Obviously, we have an actual set designer.
No, I know they didn't. They take much longer to make these sets, so I don't think they took inspiration from the stuff I built. But it's a big coincidence.
Yeah. No, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever wanted to be a Lego set designer on that subject?
I mean, I'd like to. It's cool, but I think those guys are really amazing, and I don't know if I'm fit to be one.
I don't know, man. I think I think unless there's more to the origin story of you getting into Lego and the community, I think we might start looking through some of these MOCs because honestly, I have to beg to differ. I think you definitely, from a consumer standpoint, from someone who doesn't know the ins and outs of set design, I don't know. I think a lot of these pretty much stack up.
Thanks.
But yeah, no. Unless there's anything else, I figure we'll go ahead and get into some of these because they're really fantastic.
I could tell you how I got into the Bionicle community,
Please,
but
please.
yeah, because I'm not for that long in the Bionicle community by now. I really just joined when TTV did their Bionicle G3 project.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got on a nostalgia kick for Bionicle and bought a bunch of pieces of eBay, just a big package.
Mm-hmm.
And because I got them from eBay, I wanted to watch the pieces. I was looking around on YouTube what kind of Bionicle videos I could watch. And I saw like the thumbnails with Umatu's art. And that's how I really got into like TTV and the Bionicle community and all that stuff. And since then, I'm here.
So you really entered the conversation, like the whole community here, with Bionicle and whatnot through G3, TTV's G3.
Yeah.
That's interesting. See, I did not know that. I mean, in hindsight, that makes a lot of sense because just a slew of the creations that you make on the TTV message boards are for G3. Now,
Yeah.
to contextualize what that is for anyone that's unaware, a G3 is not it. Okay, so so TTV, the TTV channel, they had for a period of time on their podcast, they had it as a discussion if they were to do Bionicle again for a third time, how would they do it? And so it was kind of formatted in this episodic podcast per podcast pitch, where they would come up with themes, ideas, concepts, and kind of mold them as to what they would like to see in a Bionicle system theme if Bionicle were to come back again. And early on it was titled Generation 3, G3, so on and so forth. It ended up not being that. It branched off pretty significantly. And Sokoda made a ton of absolutely outstanding MOCs representing what sets would be based off of these concepts. And so, for instance, what you're seeing right now is one of them. This is not an official LEGO set. I understand how it's easy to kind of mistake it for that because it's so impressive. I'm trying to find the name of it. Here we go. It's the Lost Shrine of the Wind.
Yeah. Lost Shrine of Wind, yeah.
I mean, I don't know why I said that. You know these all.
Yeah. But, although, the name of that one I changed last minute.
Oh, really? What was it initially?
The original name was Temple of Liwa.
Dude.
But then I thought it's not really a temple.
Dude, I love that one so much. Okay, no, fair enough. No, that makes a lot of sense. It is not a temple. It's just a statue.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm using this one as my primary example because it is my favorite you have ever made. And it's not the most grandiose. It's not the most densely packed with Easter eggs. You've made others that I would say are more so. But that statue, mark my words, I will make that statue out of physical bricks one day and just have it on my desk. It's so... Before I continue to gush over things, I feel like it's best for me to just ask. So take us through the development process. How do you go about designing these? And we can start with this one, for instance, The Lost Shrine of Wind, and kind of take us through how this all starts and how you go from listening to a concept to posting the finished creation on the boards.
Okay, actually, that one is quite special. Oh? Because I kind of built it as a reaction to you leaving.
Oh my god!
So I'm really happy you picked that one as the first.
Oh my gosh! Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think it was uploaded like way past you leaving, but it took me quite a while to build it and render it and stuff, so that's why.
That's amazing.
But I had this idea that I wanted to do a temple of Liwa, kind of. And then one day I was walking home, and then I had this idea, like the Mixel ball joint piece. This would be the perfect, like this ball that Liwa has on his chest.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
And that's basically how I started this whole thing.
That is amazing. I never knew that because I remember seeing it when I was gone. I was out of TTV and going, I would buy that. I don't care what I think about G3. I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
And yeah, I built the Liwa statue and I didn't know what else to build around. Then I did some drawings of ideas I had, and this was one, and the other one was like a Greek temple structure with the statue in front. Mm-hmm. But I decided to do this one because of the floating islands. I liked the idea, and it was in like TTV's Chronicle concept that they have like floating islands. Mm-hmm. So that's why I added that.
That's amazing. Gosh, see, I love it even more due to that backstory. That's incredible. Because yeah, this is like, I do remember. So for like the air village in TTV's pitch, everything is floating. All the different, the village of air is obviously in the air instead of just being in the trees like Generation 1 and G2. And you do a great job of pulling it off because obviously the the platforms that they're on, the structures are on, are transparent.
Yeah.
So for something like this, what are some of the challenges that you encounter when designing this and making it and rendering it?
Okay. The transparent pieces are one of the greatest challenges, basically, because the render program I use a program called LDD to POV and it turns like LDD files into another file that I can render.
Oh,
The problem with this is transparent pieces take like really long to render. And one image for this set, because of all the transparent it has, took me like 2 days to render.
oh my gosh.
Until I found online a trick that makes it more easy, which is you render it 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
Once in the best quality without all transparent pieces, once in the worst quality with transparent pieces, and once in black and white, so you can use an image manipulation program to put the transparent pieces into the other one.
Oh my goodness.
So that's one of the challenges.
It's so
And-
involved.
It's a trick I found online. I think it was on Eurobricks. A user posted it, so this really helped me save time. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And another challenge always with like digital marks is you can only use legal connections, of course. You can't do like illegal connection stuff, but that's not a problem for me because I want to make these look like sets, so I wouldn't do that anyway. But it's also, I always think, would this structurally work? Because LDD has no mechanism to check like, would this fall off or would this stand and stuff like that. And I tried to make it work, but most of the time I really don't know if it would.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fair. Like even in some of these, like this one specifically, you have a gecko bird that has a function, and it looks like you took the function from Qatar and just improved it like a whole ton.
It's the function from Ikir.
I'm stupid, of course. Ikir.
One by one, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I said Qatar. Qatar's awful. but it's like you can't actually test it because there's no physics engine in this.
Sometimes I'll build it with my pieces and test it. If it's like smaller things, I think for my Motaran Caravan. No. My I don't know the name of the set. My last Pokoro set, there's like this trap function, and I tried to build it with my pieces to test if it works. So yeah, sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I can't.
Is that the Mataran Raiders ambush? Is that?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I actually, I think, yep, I have a picture of that up right now. So I will actually just go ahead and link that as well. This was my next example because I also think that this is really good. Now, to continue to kind of bring people up to speed on the whole concept, it's like obviously it's a new world, things are very different, and the characters you see are, of course, you have Matoran, you also have Toa, and the Toa were formerly Matoran, and now they they acquire the power of Toa, and they're kind of channeling the spirit of Toa. And so they get all these special weapons and look and whatnot. Yeah. So that's why you'll kind of see them, but they don't look exactly like someone you're used to. So with this is a very different set because it's like 4 minifigures, a little piece of scenery, which again is so cool because it's modeled to look like a Kakama. And what seems to be a semi-construction, semi-systems beast. So take us through the process for a set like this.
Okay, yeah, I started building the Rahi. So I think the first thing I did were the feet. Because I wanted to have this claw look with the ice skates. This was the initial idea. And because I want to make these look like real sets, I often take some of my sets and put them next to my computer and look at them and different stuff. For this one, I took like the Wu's dragon from Ninjago. as like the basis of how I want to do the construction. And yeah, I built the legs and the feet. Then the torso is pretty basic on the underside, and the top is details. And the head I had to redo like a lot of times.
Oh, goodness.
But the base idea I had is like I wanted to mix construction and system pieces for this model. So I did like this feet are mostly system, but like the legs I used this metro armor and stuff like that to give it the Bionicle textures and the Bionicle look, which I'll try to bring in these sets, although they are system. So that's the base idea, I guess.
I see. Okay. Now, something else that you do with these that I think it doesn't make them, like it isn't what absolutely defines these, but it's more like a cherry on top of an already excellent cake, is you make specific print designs and illustrations for the new mask pieces and put them on there. So
Yeah.
how do you go about illustrating these?
Okay. The TTV has official mask designs for their concept. So I try to use these, but the problem is the only pictures we have of those masks are like up front, and I'll need them like in 3-dimensional poses for these images that they look like real sets. So I'll basically put them on using some kind of image manipulation software and drew them again with like the right angle, I guess. I'm not 100% like happy with how they look because they're like just drawn on, and if you look at them, they just don't look like the rendered pieces. But it's the best I can do, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I think they do a really good job of illustrating what you're trying to get across.
Yeah.
So now, for a set like this, which has functionalities, you said you built part of this to test it out. Is that right?
Yeah, the trap, which looks like the Kakama, I didn't build it like exactly the way it looks, but like the general shapes, so I know that the function could work.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm looking at this. So from a design perspective, like obviously enough this works. How do you feel? Do you believe that this is exactly how you would want Lego to illustrate this, or this is your illustration of something you would like to see in a hypothetical set like this?
I mean, I built it the way I'd like to see it, but I know that Lego would change like a bunch of stuff. For example, a lot of the colors, I guess, would be different because Lego just sometimes they use the colors to make like the building easier, and I just want the colors to like look the way I want the set to look. So I guess if it was a real Lego set, I know it would look quite different.
Fair enough. I personally, I think that they'd go for something like this. I just don't know if they wouldn't include a lever or not, like
Yeah,
outside of the Kakama and the claw.
yeah, I was thinking about putting a lever there, but you see those two black pins on the image? That's because most of my sets can be connected in some kind of way through those pins. They all have these pins and pinholes, and the lever was getting in the way of this connection, so I just changed it up for the gear.
That makes a lot of sense. I understand now. Okay. And I feel like I know. So there is an illustration of them connecting, and I feel like we're gonna get to that in just a few moments. But first, let's go ahead and kind of take a little bit of a detour. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up another set though, and this one is Fudge. I had it. It's the Kenai Outpost attack, and I will go ahead and link this one as well. And there we go. So let's take a small detour and talk a little bit about the story concept. So,
Okay.
obviously enough, TTV has been criticized for a lot of the handling of the project, especially
Yeah.
as of late. There have been some kind of upcroppings of discussion, specifically through Matu releasing a lot of the art that he did for the project, and so on and so forth. So I want to hear it from you. What did you think about the handling? What did you think about the concept? What did you like about it, and what would you have done differently?
Uh, okay.
It's a little bit of a
So
big question. Sorry.
yeah. So I mean, I built all these sets and spent a lot of time on that. So generally, I think it's a good project, and I like the idea. And the real thing that interests me is System Bionicle. We got the system playsets, but I think they aren't like as good as most Lego sets, system sets we have nowadays.
Yeah.
And I like the story about Bionicle. I'm a huge fan of the story and the feel of the world. So I think I always thought it could work as a system set, system theme. And I wanted to show that we can capture like the feel of Bionicle through system. So I'm mostly about the base idea of System Bionicle, and I really think it's a good idea. Although some people disagree, and I understand that a lot of people are in the community because they like construction, but I hope that I can show a couple of people that System Bionicle could be a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the project itself, it was like, I had to talk about this really recently, and I heard you had Bar on the show here, and I agree with a lot he said about the project.
Mm.
I think a lot of the problems were like caused to make clicks, basically. A lot of confusion, for example, came from naming it G3.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. That's why my newest project isn't called G3 Set Concept anymore. I call it Briconicle Set Concept because I think it's less confusing for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And like new characters, I think would have been better for the storyline as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole Levi is female debate wouldn't be a problem if it were just new characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like my main criticisms, but I still like the story they made up. I think was an interesting concept, and they had a lot of interesting ideas in there. A lot of those ideas were from community members, so I think it was a cool project that the community worked on together, and I had a lot of fun on the boards discussing about this stuff. So generally, I'm positive. I see some of the problems. It's, in my opinion, the main problems are like branding and some of the handling that tried to make it like work as a YouTube show instead of a project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and heck, eventually it ended up becoming a thing where like the Toa ended up being different characters, but because things are so far along, and they look the way they do, and it was in a podcast, it got lost in translation, and eventually they became their own characters. But at that point, it's like, well, you got the names of the old ones, so good luck.
I also always had like this my own story idea, kind of, which I incorporated into these sets a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always liked the idea of if we do System Bionicle, we use the scale difference between construction and system. So you know how in Legend Reborn they're like these huge Bionicle pieces on Barra Magna, and I had the idea that if we do System Bionicles, maybe I can incorporate the construction pieces like as relics from the past they find in like the world they live in. And that's why I try to incorporate some construction pieces into the buildings I built for these sets.
That actually reminds me. So there is, and I'm glad you brought this up because there's a set that I remember. I think this one was, oh goodness, it's October 2017. So I wasn't around at that point, but I was shown it when you released it. So it's the Naho boat. And I'll go ahead and bring that up.
Yeah.
And I remember being shown this, and this one was really popular amongst the people in TTV I still talked to at the time, because it was a system set, but it so brilliantly incorporated Bionicle pieces, construction parts, into the design of the boat. And it was this really excellent mixture that seemed very seamless. It flowed really, really well. And I feel like that being so well accomplished is especially topical because I've been going through the System Bionicle sets we did get, and a lot of them often feel like they are system sets that have to meet a quota, and so they push a bunch of Bionicle parts on it, and especially with a few of the 2007 ones, it just feels a bit, I don't want to say lazy. I always hesitate to say lazy when it comes to set design because nothing like being lazy. It just seems a little...
Yeah, the only system Bionicle set I own is like the Battle for Metro Nui.
That's a good one,
admittedly. Yeah, that's a good one. But it still is like, it's the tower and stuff, but they just made some wacky plates in front of it. And I like if it's more incorporated in the build, if it's like, it looks like it's part of the structure.
Yeah.
And that's the Naho boat. Most of my sets start with like the idea with one piece, like the Mixel ball joint we had earlier. This time it was like this Tahu Mata arm. I thought like it's a cool shape for the round part of the boat. And that's how I started it off. Yeah.
That's awesome. Gosh, I love that process. It's like you take a piece and you just build a set around it. I think that's really cool. And yeah, I mean, like I said, like this works very well. It harkens back, but it's not blatant. It's not egregious. It's definitely nowhere near as bad as some of these. Like I'll say for certain, the Toa Undersea Attack is possibly the worst offender of this issue.
Oh.
And obviously that review is coming up, but I'll say now, it's a nightmare. It's visually, you look at it from the side and you'll see what I mean. It just looks, it looks like a tub of pieces with a bunch of silver blades was made into a set, and it's really bad. But
the only problem I keep thinking about, and people have told me this already, I don't know if Lego still has the pieces. So I try to think to make these sets like, how would they look if Lego did these? But I don't know if Lego would still produce like the old Bionicle pieces.
That is a very reasonable issue.
I wanted to ask this question when you had the designers on, but I forgot.
That's fair. I mean, I'll definitely have to have them on again, and so we can ask them then.
Yeah.
But that's a really good point, because this is something that even I'm not super sure of. I've heard it go either way. I've heard that they take the molds and they just store them away. And I've also heard that they actively bury the molds. Not even just destroy them, but actively bury them in cement. And I've never actually asked myself, like, hey, which one of those is true? So,
yeah,
that's reasonable. So, that all being the case, what would you say the greatest challenge wholesale, like outside of the rendering, and outside of the parts usage specifically, with the physics engine not being a thing, what would you say is something that you've been aiming to improve on in the process, or just improve on in general during your designs?
I'll try to make it more realistic. I think so. Sometimes I think this wouldn't be a Lego set, and I'll try to like change the colors a bit up so that we don't have like only blue pieces at each other. So I'll try that, like for example here in this set, light gray and dark gray next to each other, so it looks more like something that would work with the instructions and would be easier to build. That's something I'm trying to improve at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what I'm trying to improve is like the minifigure prints. I basically have a template since the beginning, since my first Matoran, and I want to keep it consistent. But like my newer ones, I try to improve like way more details. The one has like the Mari Tauren blade like attached to his chest and stuff like that. So I want to put more references and stuff to old Bionicle into my prints for the most part.
Okay, fair enough. And then that makes sense. There is a comment over in the live YouTube chat that's from Iwanek that says the classic space helmet had to be made all over again. So yeah. So
Yeah.
one could argue pieces do come back into circulation.
Yeah, and for G2, for example, they brought back the Gurak staff from G1, so they had to have that anywhere.
Yeah, no, and that is a good point. Now I mean, yeah, that is a thing, because they did bring over a few of them, a few of the old Bionicle pieces, like you mentioned, the Gurak staff, the Vorox
The
armor,
rock armor, yeah.
returned, and we got a slew of new recolors for that one. But yeah, no, it's I get the critique, the concern,
Yeah.
but now let's go ahead and move on to another one of your designs. So the Kane Outpost Attack. This is a very multifaceted set. Like you have the boat, you have the actual like the floating pillars, and then you have a creature. Is this how did this differ from the other concepts where you have usually one or two focuses, as opposed to this which has two or three?
Yeah, okay. I built the outpost first, and the main idea was I just want to build the outpost and the Rahi, like because I want these sets to look like real Lego sets, I guess, and that's why I always want to have some conflict in the box or something like this. So that's why I built the outpost and the Rahi. But then I had the idea for the Zeppelin, and I thought maybe two flying things could be like give more play value, I guess, to the theoretical set. That's why I added that one as well.
Okay.
So I'll try to think like, how could this used if someone had this? How could it be played with? Yeah.
That makes plenty of sense. I gotta say, another aspect I really love about this, and I'm sure you've done this very intentionally, and I'm building up to your larger creations as we go along. One of which, fun fact, if you don't know Sokoda and his MOCs, one of them is not Bionicle, and it is possibly one of his best. But as far as this one is concerned, so this one does something that a few of them do, and that is repurposing and reusing Bionicle Rahi for really different and cool things. Like the Gecko we discussed earlier, this one has a Proto Drake, and
Yep.
you do a really good job of illustrating the Rahi, but kind of modernizing it, updating it, and cleaning it, I'll say, because obviously a lot of the old Rahi MOCs are haphazard at best.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like it.
I really have a lot of fun building these combination models and weird Rahi or Dark Hunter stuff because they don't look perfect, and that gives me a lot of freedom with them. So I can do a bit of my own thing and still keep the general shapes. So I'll try to do my best to make them like in a new context, a new idea for them.
That makes sense. Now, I gotta mention this before we move on to there is another set that I wanted to show, and I believe let me see if that is the next one. I gotta check my database. Okay, so it's not. So this should be. We're gonna take a risk it for the biscuit. Okay, nope. The biscuit did not pay off. I repeat, the biscuit did not pay off. So one of your larger creations at a whopping, and I love how you include the part counts, at a whopping 1,169 pieces, would be the Archive Attack. This is definitely one of the larger ones. It's one of the more impressive ones as well.
Yeah, that's my latest one.
Yeah, and there you go. It's also the most up to date. This one is chock full of things. So, what would you say? And I've asked MOCists that I've had on prior a similar question, but what would you say is the difference in challenge when it comes to making something of this large scale and so multifaceted, as opposed to something smaller such as the Kenai Outpost, the boat, or even something I haven't shown here yet, which is Karak's snowmobile.
Like, okay, for the smaller things, you can really look at every part and just use every part the way that the end result looks good. But the thing, if I build something at that scale, there are also pieces I have to use, like to make it structurally working, that I have the size and the general shape, and then add like the detail on top. But I have to hide like the pieces that are just there for the structure. That's a bit of the difference in scale. I think that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, for this as well, I've got to show this. Where do you come up with the inspiration for these kind of Easter eggs? Like, these are very, like, to me, these strike me as very almost Lego Batman movie, Lego Ninjago movie-esque Easter egg kind of deals. Obviously, these are of a much more specific scale because they're all Bionicle related. So, for instance, in the archives, which is such a clever place to put them, you have references to Nuva armor, the Onumetru disc, what I assume are Nuva's claws, all the Tomata weapons, a Borak shield, Krana, and I'm sure there are things that I'm missing. Like, so where does all of this kind of come from?
Okay, I'm at the moment reading all the Bionicle books because I never could, because I think some of them weren't released ever in Germany. And I was like at the part in 04 where they're in the archives, and I got like really, this is cool. It's like the collector's room in Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that in my head. And I thought of, okay, what could I put in there? And first of all, I wanted to put Rahi in there because normally in the archives in Bionicle there are some Rahi. But then I had like these smaller places left, and I thought of, okay, what smaller things could I incorporate that are like cool, like little nods to the story for fans of G1, but like don't totally destroy the canon of this G3 project. Yeah, and then I added like the Spear of Fusion, the Borak shields, the Mata weapons, stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. Obviously, I have a bias toward it. One might argue, but it all looks really excellent, and it's fun, and I feel like that might be the most important question, and I think you've kind of answered it. When you make these, do you have fun with them? Do you enjoy creating them?
I mean, I wouldn't still build them if I wouldn't have any fun.
No, Sokoda, you have to build them. I don't care if you don't like making them. You have to. You have to make more. Only G1 sets. That's it. That's all you can make now. No, I'm kidding. But
no, yeah. I have a lot of fun building these, putting in the little Easter eggs, doing the prints. So yeah, and there'll definitely be some more.
That makes sense. That's fair. And I look forward to those, of course. But it isn't always about Easter eggs. Of course, there have to be, new and exciting concepts. So most notably, and we'll go ahead and move into this one. This is the biggest one, the one I've kind of been building up to, no pun intended. So this is the Vermilion Dragon Face Off, and you most notably made this for the Ninjago Dragon contest that TTV held a little bit ago. I'm hoping sincerely, by the way, that the package arrived safely.
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay, all right. So long as it's okay, I'm glad. But so this is really cool because it's a giant vermilion dragon going up against Lloyd on a little kind of outcropping. Like just a waterfall and a nice tree, and it's got a little sign. So when you were making this, first of all, how well are you familiar with Ninjago? And then what was the difference between doing something like this, making it specific to Ninjago, as opposed to making something specific to G3? Here, Brickonicle. I'll re-clarify.
Yeah, although I'm very familiar with Ninjago. I'm a Ninjago fan since it started. I love the series, read the comics, everything. So when I saw the contest and it said Dragons and Ninjago, I knew I had to enter this one. So the difference between like the G3 stuff is it's not that different, honestly, because on G3 stuff I normally like have a reference in something in Bionicle, and here I have like the reference of the Vermilion designs, like the way the style of Vermilion vehicles is and stuff like this. And I just looked up the Vermilion sets and which pieces are normally used, and of course the snakes everywhere. And then I thought about, okay, how can I make a dragon out of this? And the first idea I had was a stone warrior dragon. But I think the Vermilion style is more unique.
Oh, okay.
It's like more striking.
Interesting. Now, when you designed this, was this from the mindset of, I'm just going to make something super totally rad? Or was it from a perspective of, I'm going to try and follow a similar Brickonicle path and make it set-like, but still also totally rad?
For this model especially, I drew it ahead like the way I wanted it to look, the dragon, and it turned out a bit different, but I had like this concept of the way I wanted it to look. But other than the Brickonicle set, this time I didn't look like, would Lego do it like this, or could this be a set or something like this. I didn't care about this that much, and I just built it so it looked the way I wanted it to.
Okay. Do you mind if I show the illustration you posted? Because you
Yeah,
have
it's
the,
okay.
Awesome.
No problem.
All right. So
It's like a short illustration I did on a train ride just to get it out of my head how I wanted it to look.
That's fair. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, which I imagine anyone would be, it's nowhere else. So fair enough. There's a link to the topic in the live chat right now, which should be retained. And you can kind of compare and contrast this illustration to the final design. And like this to me, as someone who doesn't, A, do any sort of artistic illustrations, and B, someone who does not mock actively. Don't forget, and sorry, don't worry to anyone who's worried I have forgotten. I'm still making that Ben Kasi mock. It's going to happen. This is incredible. It's just, you see the framework, and then you see how it's changed and grown and altered, and it's really impressive. And you would say this is usually how you go about it with the base sketch?
Only for larger projects I do it, because like for smaller stuff I'll just try and error, but for larger things I want an idea how I want it to end up looking. So it's not normally that I do it, but for the contest I wanted to give it my best shot and tried to draw it ahead.
Okay, that's fair. What would you say is the hardest part about this specific model?
Like the hardest part in building it, or what do you mean?
Yeah.
I think the hardest part in every like figure or animal or dragon in this case is the head, because if you don't get the head right, everything else doesn't matter that much, because the first thing people look at is the head.
Interesting.
And that's why I started with the head, and I wasn't sure how big this is going to be, this whole model. And I just built the head and tried to build the body like in proportion for that.
Okay. Huh. I can kind of I see where you're coming from, because yeah, a lot of dragons are like, you're familiar at all with Spinosaurus, right? The dinosaur.
Yeah, of course. It's my favorite dinosaur.
Yeah, all right, another to the club. Excellent. All right, you, me, and Ven. We're the Spinosaurus crew, man, because that is the coolest freaking dinosaur. One reason that I really like the Jurassic Park 3 iteration is specifically because of the head design. It looks so crocodilian and it looks so striking. And like most often when I look at an illustration of the Spinosaurus, it lives or dies by that head. And most of them don't get it right. And I feel like Jurassic Park did a really good job illustrating it. So I see where you're coming from.
Have you seen my Cybersaw mock?
Cybersaw? mock?
Yeah, it's a like robot dinosaur mock I built, which is based on a Spinosaurus.
I'm trying desperately to think whether or not I have. And I don't think so, but now I need to. I need to see this, because I was going to say, it's like, all right, well, Scott, I guess now we got to see a Spinosaurus mock, but now I have to see this. I'm very curious.
I built that one for a contest as well. It was a contest over on Bricklink, where they did like AOFL designer contest, where some chosen entries were sold as sets there. But I wasn't chosen, but I still liked what I built, so I put it up on the board.
Oh, gosh. Is it on your weekly builds topic, perhaps?
No, it's its own topic.
Let me see. A Cybersaur?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, I did see this. Oh, how could I forget about this? I will go ahead and link this as well. Here we go. Yeah, okay. And let me get a picture. Yeah, so this is super cool. I cannot imagine the rendering time this one must have taken.
It was way shorter.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
Because for this contest, you had to build in Stud.io and not in LDD. And they have implemented rendering, which is way shorter.
Okay. Now, between those two, which do you have a preference for? Like, did you use Stud.io and really enjoy it, or did you go right back to LDD?
I'm used to building in LDD. That's why I'm like, it works a lot better for me if I'm in LDD. But I can import LDD models to Stud.io and render them there. So that's always a possibility. But I normally don't do it because I like the colors better in the other render program. They're like more striking. And I can't add my custom made prints if I render in Stud.io. So that's why I keep coming back to LDD.
That makes sense. Okay. Now, would you say that if they did incorporate that custom print functionality, would you probably switch over?
I think I would switch over, yeah. It's way easier and the render times are so much shorter. I think if they had the prints, I'd switch.
Okay. And that makes a lot of sense. I have not used Stud.io. However, from an outsider perspective, looking between it and LDD, what little experience I have with LDD, it seems like Stud.io is the more robust software. But again,
Yeah.
it's just outsider looking in, so.
And Stud.io also has now like a function that can test stability of models, which is pretty cool.
There you go.
Which LDD doesn't have.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Like, that would really, and I suppose that kind of makes a lot of sense looking at the creation that you made, the Cybersaur. You have a transparent pillar kind of holding it up.
Yeah, that's what the program didn't say it had stability issues, but I thought it probably would have, and because it was like for a contest and it could be a real set if I was under the winners. That's why I added this pillar, just to make sure it wouldn't fall.
Yeah, and I get that. It's perfectly reasonable. So, okay, now I believe... yeah. So, I didn't actually... I believe I have these pictures all set up. I didn't actually comment on this next bit. But I really... do I have it? No, I don't have it. That's weird. I have them on my computer, but I didn't actually put them on. Okay. So, you very recently made a creation which... honestly is... it made me laugh, but it also made me go, I can't believe that actually worked. Because, I mean, you did such a great job with it. I'm building up to this. No pun intended again. It's, of course, the Biocraft models that you made. You made two of them. You made the Great Telescope and the Takor Supa. And you made this before the movie came out. And for anyone unaware, Biocraft Chronicles, which was a TTV project since 2011, finally released early this month. It's out. It's like a hour and 10-minute long movie. One might even say it in sentences containing endgame when it comes to the scale of epicness that it is. I'm not humbly bragging, honestly. No, but so you made this beforehand. Tell me what prompted this and what the process was like.
Okay, it was like last year on April 1st, I built like a joke model of Bionicle Mighty Micros.
Oh, I gotta get that up as well. Yeah.
And this year I wanted to do like some joke again, and then I saw you like hyping up Biocraft, and I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So I thought, okay, let's make a bit fun of it and build these models, and I built them like at 3 a.m. in the morning in like 2 or 3 hours.
Oh my gosh, this only took you 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, this would have taken me a lot
And
longer.
after that, I still had to do the prints for the Minecraft minifigures.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I rendered them and thought, okay, this is going to be a little joke I upload on April 1st, but then you guys actually released the movie, so.
It actually was a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, I've got the telescope, the great telescope, up right now. First, real briefly, here are the Mighty Micros. It's a Tahu, a Bionicle Tahu versus Vorok Mighty Micros. And it's still, of course, really good. You're really good with illustrating different styles. Like the Mighty Micro style you captured pretty well. And then with this, like, I have a slew of Minecraft sets. This looks almost exactly like what I'd expect from a Minecraft set, maybe with a slightly less modularity to it.
Yeah.
Now, so when you were making this, did you examine a whole lot of the Minecraft sets that are already out?
Normally, if I build like a concept based on existing themes or existing styles, I just go to Brickset and scroll through all the images of pigs and look at what pieces are used, what way are they used. For example, I wasn't that big into Lego Minecraft before. And I didn't know that they like raise the plates by putting like one brick underneath. But it's like a typical thing they do in Minecraft sets. And that's why I adopted this kind of style and wanted it to look like the official sets that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love your... Like, it really does look like you paid attention to them. Because you use very Minecraft-centric pieces, especially in the telescope. Like, you're using a slime as the crystal.
Yeah.
And then you're also using, like, the mushrooms, the mushroom style, the bamboo style. And, of course, all the figures are pretty much spot on. They're really good illustrations. Something, maybe this is just because they're kind of pixel art in a sense, but it looks like the print renders look a lot more in line. They don't stick out like at all. They look like they're really rendered in with the image. Did you do something different, or is it just because that's kind of pixel art?
I did basically the same thing I always do, but except for the masks in my G3 sets. The render program I have lets me like switch out prints from LDD through with custom made ones. And LDD fortunately has a couple prints for the Minecraft heads. So I could switch them out with the ones I made. So, but it's basically the same thing I do with all my torso prints and other prints I do on these sets.
Interesting, because yeah, no, they look very in place, if that makes sense. Like, they don't stick out at all. They don't look like they're drawn on like the Bionicle Toa masks. So
Yeah.
that's
Only
really...
the masks are drawn on. All other prints I use this method.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Fair. Now, obviously, I'm well acquainted with this location. Telescope was the pillar for the telescope. TTV did not build. We've talked about this before. We were given permission to kind of adopt it from, I believe, I want to say, was it the Russians? I want to say the Russians. A group of Russian Bionicle fans. They made a Matanui Island, and the telescope was one part of it. The pillar for the telescope, not the actual telescope platform itself, but the pillar, and but everything else I basically made myself. So I'm very familiar with it. did you go on the map to kind of work on this? Like, do you play Minecraft? Did you look around to do this?
I don't play Minecraft really, but I looked on the boards, on the pics of the you have up of the Biocraft map, and yeah, I used those images and tried to build it to look the same, but it's of course a lot scaled down. It's way smaller than it would normally be, but I tried to have the general shapes. The other Minecraft set I built is pretty much block to block from the image that is on the board.
Okay, no, I'll go ahead and bring that up as well. This is the Takorasuva. Okay, yeah, no, I see what you mean. I see you post a picture. Obviously, you have a Fiku. We don't even have a Fiku
Yeah.
skin yet, which
That's
is
cool.
hilarious.
I just added.
It's really kind of funny. Like, I know what the Fiku would be. I know exactly what it would be. I know exactly how it would look. We don't even have it made, so that's really funny. But yeah, I mean, first of all, you don't play Minecraft, so get off of my show. No, I'm kidding. I'm contractually obligated as the Minecraft superfan to force you to play Minecraft. Legal disclaimer: I'm not contractually obligated to do anything. Anyway, with Minecraft, but it really does. Like, legitimately, having a bunch of the sets, having a lot of experience with them, these look so stylistically in tune with that theme. So it's really impressive.
Thank you.
So, so that all being the case, would you be down to answer some questions from the audience listening in?
Yeah, of course.
All right, fantastic. In that case, I'm going to open things up for questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in. I'm monitoring the email, monitoring Twitter, monitoring the chat. But in the meantime, talk about what you want to talk about, man. Let's hear a little more from you. Just
Yeah, I can talk about like my main project I'm doing like since the beginning of 2019,
please,
which is
please.
like my weekly build topic. I build something very small every week, and it's like very different stuff. So one day it's like a Bionicle MOC or a Minecraft. I haven't done Minecraft yet, but I could. Or it's like Overwatch, or it's Ninjago or Exo Force, and different old Lego themes. And I'll just do something different every week. So I'll upload something every Sunday. That's like the project I'm mostly working on at the time. But I still am working on my G3 Chronicle stuff.
Okay. Well, yeah. See, I'm scrolling through this now. How the fudge have I not been getting notifications from this topic? Like, I've seen so many of these MOCs outside of the message boards. Like, I'll see them posted to Reddit, like the Zyglac or the Japanese inspiration model, Roxy model. And I'll be like, wow, that's really awesome. And then I move on. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. And then I don't realize they're here on the boards. Like, I'm Luke.
Yeah, like if they're Bionicle specific, I'll post them on Reddit, or if they're like something else specific, I put them in like subreddits or the stuff that fits this kind of thing. But they're all collected on the boards. Yeah.
That's amazing. This is a really great project. Like, would you encourage other people to do that who are interested in mocking, mock so regularly like this?
I think it helped me a lot. It's a lot of fun, and I think the best thing about it is that it's like not one theme, so I can do very different things. And like one day I'll build a spaceship, and the next day I'll build a mech, and it's like small enough stuff that I can render it in a very fast time and build it pretty fast. So I can do it regularly. So I think it's a cool idea, and if other people want to do it, I think it would be cool. I'd like to see other people's creations.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful. I think that speaks so highly to how much you really like to create and how much you enjoy making things. And like, when you started out and start posting things, how did that seem to you? How did that feel, sharing your creations with the overall community?
Like the first thing I posted on the boards was like my Kurak snowmobile. And I was like just because I heard like the podcasts talking about Chronicle and stuff, and I was like, hey, this looks like a funny Chima Ninjago like vehicle she had instead of like a lion head or something like this. I thought just post it, and people were so nice, and I got a lot of nice comments. I was like, hey, this is a lot of fun. And then I had the idea with the piece for the Naho boat, and I just didn't stop since then.
I'm glad that everyone was nice. Like, as a returning member of the staff, it's like, oh gosh, they were nice. Thank goodness. Oh no. But that's wonderful. All right. So in that case, let's go ahead and get into some questions. If you're still good for that.
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna go ahead and put that that wonderful Liwa creation you made back up on screen. As soon as I find it. Where'd it go? There it is. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So some questions. The first of which being Takua Nuva, who asks, "Why don't you play Minecraft?"
I have played Minecraft before, like friend, and I like Minecraft. I had a lot of fun, but I'm not playing Minecraft that much at the time. I'm playing other games. And
What kind of games do you play?
I play Overwatch mainly and Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Ooh, both good options. Now, what platform do you play them on?
PC, of course.
Oh gosh, okay. Dude, you gotta add me. We gotta play some Overwatch.
Of course.
Awesome. Heck yeah.
I know you like Reinhardt.
Yes. Wait, well, I mean, to be fair, I'll give him up. If you play Reinhardt, I'll give him up.
I don't play my Reinhardt, it's fine.
Okay, fair enough. But that's reasonable. That's fair. Are there any games right now that are kind of catching your eye?
I so much wanted to like Anthem.
Don't tell me you got it. You didn't buy it, did
No,
you?
I didn't get it. I waited for the reviews and stuff.
Yes!
Because I don't pre-order games.
Yes! There we go.
I'm glad I didn't get it.
Oh, thank
And
goodness.
it makes me kind of sad.
Yeah, no, that is reasonable. I mean, it's never a good thing when a game is bad, like Fallout
Yeah.
76 or Anthem.
Yeah, especially I feel sad for the guys at BioWare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they didn't make it bad intentionally. It just went very wrong. So, all right. Now the next question is from Spidey Central, who asks Sokoda, first, what do you think of the Bionicle movies? Second, I imagine the mata weapons in the one set belong to early Toa, who shared the names of the new ones.
Okay, the Bionicle movies, I generally like all the Bionicle movies. I'm a Bionicle fan, of course, I like them. But I'll say something controversial. My favorite one is The Legend Reborn.
Okay, so Meso would 100% agree with you. He is the exact same way. He's the exact same opinion. But you have to elaborate now.
Yeah, I like the animation in The Legend Reborn. I think it's the best animation. I like that they look set accurate and still like moving gears, and they look like functioning machines, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that The Legend Reborn deals with like way more mature themes and stuff like this.
Really?
I really enjoy Legends of Metro Nui as well, but Lee Khan dies. So that's my personal reason for not making it number one.
Fair enough. I mean, hey, well, I can understand that. It'd be like if in Mask of Light, Liwa died. It'd be like, you know what? Nope, I'm done. I'm out.
So I was one of the people who was really happy about the Red Star thing, because it means Lee Khan still lives.
That is technically true. He is still alive on the Red Star.
Yeah.
Actually, okay. So I haven't been paying close attention, but I have to ask. How do you pronounce the Tall Matafair's name?
So how do I pronounce him now, or how did I pronounce him in my child?
You know what? We're going to go with both because you brought that up.
Because I listen to so much online Bionicle stuff and stuff like this. Now I pronounce him Liwa.
Okay.
But because I'm German. In Germany, we pronounce stuff like exactly the way it's written. I always said Leber back when I was a kid.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't until I talked to my friend X, EXX Trooper, that I realized why Bionicle had it in so many catalogs as Lewa for so long.
Yeah.
Like, because Greg just took how he heard his coworkers, of whom are all Scandinavian, and they all
Yeah.
say it Leva. Like, and so he thought, all right, well, that's how they want me to have it said, even though I don't say it that way. It's like, that makes so much more sense. So, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. But you know what? You're part of the inner circle now. You've been introduced. One might even argue indoctrinated. Who knows? You know what? We're not picky about the terminology. That's fantastic. Okay, the Brickman823 asks, what is the most underrated Lego set in your opinion?
Ooh, underrated. That's a hard question. I think what's a really underrated set is like from Ninjago Tournament of Elements. There's this really little set, and I don't know the name of it, with like coal, and I basically based the function in my Kane outpost off of this set. And it's like coal and this little like bridge that folds in, and he's trying to get like the jade blade. And I think it's so small, but the function works so well and looks kind of cool. I think that's probably pretty underrated.
I know exactly
And
what you're talking about. I just have to find it. I'll grab in just a moment.
another one, I recently got the new Samurai X mech from Ninjago Legacy. And at first I thought like it's a really small mech and stuff, but it poses really well. I might have to take like some pictures of it outside because I can get it in some quite cool looking poses. I think that might also be an underrated set.
Okay. And I did find it. So it's set number 70753, Lava Falls. And I assume that's meant. I'm trying to get a picture, but Brickset is fighting against me. But I'll just go ahead and post the link to it.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's I see where you're coming from. I see the functionality. So, all right, you would say those two would be your underrated sets.
Yeah.
Okay, that's reasonable. All right. In that case, for the record, I have some. I've talked about this I think on a Reddit AMA, but outside of a Bionicle, I don't really know any. So, let me see here. The Channel Fire. Wait, no, sorry, I skipped one. My apologies. Takuanuva asks, what is your coolest Minecraft build? Now, he asked, LJ, what is your coolest? But I'm going to also forward this to you. Of what you've seen, Sokoda, what do you think is your favorite Minecraft set that you have witnessed?
I looked up like a lot of the Minecraft sets for like building these two, but I don't really know the names that much anymore. But like there was like this, I think it's the Nether. Is it the Nether? This like red-looking structures. There's
Yeah.
like a Nether castle. I think this set was like pretty striking for me.
Let me see. Is it another fortress?
Yeah, probably.
Here, this one.
um,
Set number 21122.
yeah, genau. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so for everyone wondering, this is the Nether Fortress. Let me just go ahead and expand the picture. Beautiful. Yeah, so yeah, I totally agree. I like this one. This one is really cool. And I'll go ahead and link that. As far as I'm concerned, the Jungle Treehouse is very easy. It is my first Minecraft set that I purchased, and it remains my favorite. It's such a good set.
Yeah, I was thinking about building a Lee Coro set based on that. But I
It would have made sense.
but I think the telescope is like a more iconic location. That's why I built that one.
And that also makes a lot of sense. And it totally is. Like, the telescope is one of the first few things you see.
Yeah.
So, okay. The next question in that case is from The Channel Fire. I haven't played Minecraft in a long time. What do you think of the new updates? I think Minecraft is not what it used to be. Say, Sokoda, this is why you gotta get into it. You gotta start a YouTube channel, and you gotta make it a Minecraft YouTube channel, and you just do nothing but Minecraft videos, and get millions of views, and then you're gonna become a Minecraft pro. It's genius. It's genius, man.
Okay. Sounds simple.
So I'll make this brief. I think Minecraft is definitely not what it used to be. I also think what it used to be was limited, because it didn't have a whole lot to it, because obviously it was just starting out. I don't think that it was necessarily bad. I just think that there's so much more to the game now. There's a very easy comparison to be made between Minecraft and Lego, in the sense that it started out very simply with just a few select blocks and bricks and so on and so forth, and then it kind of grew, and now there's so much. It's very complex. There are a whole lot of different things you have to keep in mind, you have to know, etc., etc. And I think there's a comparison to be made. It's just a matter of whether or not you prefer simpler as opposed to having more options to do things. So I'm personally fine with the more options, but that's just me. So, all right.
Yeah, can't add a lot to that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The next question is from Evanek, and I seriously hope that I got that right that time, who asks, who is your Overwatch main?
I have the most playtime on Mercy, but recently I've been playing a lot of Moira.
Oh.
So I play a lot support, and yeah.
We need more people like you in the world. Thank you so much. As a Reinhardt main, thank you. All right, in that case, Spidey Central asks, Sokoda, have you heard of Bionicle Masks of Power? If not, download it. You will not be disappointed.
I have heard of it. It looks really cool. It looks like the Bionicle game that basically most Bionicle fans would want, I guess. Like collecting masks, running around on Matanui. But I haven't downloaded it yet, and I haven't kept up with it recently. Is it almost done?
Almost done isn't the way I'd put it, but they are making progress.
Okay.
Yeah, from what I've seen, they're definitely making updates. I've been meaning to do another video on the game and actually have the guy on. It's development heck, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's making progress. I think you'd like it. It's fun for what's there. So, all right. The Dinosaur Planet asks, what is your favorite Kanohi, Sokoda, and Eljay?
So my favorite Kanohi is like, I have to differentiate between power and looks for that one, I guess.
Fair enough.
My favorite power is the Olmec. I like the cosmic aspect, like the multiverse stuff. It's like trippy, it's like comic booky, I guess. And I like that kind of stuff, so that's why I love the Olmec, and I also think it looks cool. But from just the style, my favorite is like the normal Toamata Akaku.
Okay, fair enough. Those are both good options. I think it's pretty apparent what my favorite mask is. Not power wise. Levitation is like, it's a very situational power. But
is it a dumb mask, LJ?
No, Sokoda, it's not a dumb mask. Mirus are incredibly intelligent. Thank you very much. If I had a Miru right here, it would talk to me. In fact, I do have a Miru right here. It's sitting to my right. It's in a beautiful glass case. It needs to be repainted. And it is talking to me right now, okay? You hear it, right? It's talking. You hear it, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That's what I thought. Listen to Talking Mirror. You can all hear it speaking. I know I'm not the only one. Anyway.
You're definitely not crazy, LJ.
I know I'm not. No, I'm kidding. All right. Next question is from Takua Nuva, who asks, LJ, do you play Minecraft on TTV Nerfed? No. Not. The channel Fire asks, hey, Sokoda, how many sets have you made?
For Chronicle, I have made like, I think it's 10 sets and the Mighty Micros one.
Okay.
But yeah, and the next one is like, it's almost built. So I'll just have to render that one.
Oh, I'm excited.
You know what? I could probably tease like a little image from LDD.
Yes. That's right. World first, everyone. We're getting the exclusive scoop. I'm excited now.
I'll have to do a screenshot.
What was that?
I'll just have to make a screenshot.
Fair enough.
So...
very briefly, I'll address this. Dark Nova 3529 says, "What the heck, Miru? Why would you say that?" Okay, listen, man. The Miru's had a tough time, right? He's a little down on his luck, okay? It's just gotta let him vent a little bit, all right? I'm sorry. Oh man, oh my gosh.
So the picture I sent you, it's part of the set. It's not the whole thing, but it's like the main build, and that's pretty much done.
Everyone behold. Again, this is a world first, a preview. And oh my gosh, I'm getting excited. That looks outstanding. Oh man. All right, I got to move on to more questions before I get entranced by it. All right. So next...
there are two, maybe for the picture. Yeah, there are two versions. One with like a motoring riding it, one without, and I'm not sure which one I'll use. So that's why there are two of the same model in this LDD file. And it's based on the Crystal Climber from G1.
Okay. Yeah, no, I see the file name, Crystal Climber. Okay. See, again, it's still a really good translation because I can tell what it is, but it's different. Like, it's cleaner, it's more stylistically consistent. But I can still tell that it's a Crystal Climber. See, I can't even advise. It's like, I don't know what the rest of it is, so I don't know the best way to go about that, because they both look really good. I think the one on the right might be a little more in tune with the world, but again, I don't have your frame reference yet, so...
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
That's amazing. I'm stoked. All right, down for some more questions?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. Brother W asks, "How was your day?"
My day was pretty nice. I slept pretty long because I was in the cinema yesterday. So, and then we had like, it was a rainy day. I was a lot inside, but it was a nice day.
All right, excellent. Now, why would you be in a cinema at this time of month, Sokoda?
There's this little indie film that came out recently. It's about these superhero people fighting a purple guy.
Indie film?
I think a bunch of people might have heard of that one.
Yeah, by those really novice directors, the Russos. Yeah, they've only done like a few YouTube videos, I'm pretty sure.
It's always nice to see people move from YouTube to the big screen.
Yeah, it's just, it makes you think, yeah, no, that's where I'm headed. I'm going to be in the next, maybe when they get a higher budget, the next Avengers.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask. Obviously, we'll refrain on spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet and you're planning on it, you're all good here. But of course, I'll ask, what did you think of Endgame?
I like the movie. I personally think that Infinity War was a better movie on its own, but Endgame works better if you have seen like the whole MCU stuff. So I really loved the movie and I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I think that this seems to be an ever-increasing or prevailing point of view, and I definitely see where it's coming from. It's like Infinity War might have been the more solid film, but you might get the better experience from Endgame.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Oh. All right. In that case, next question is from Tesla Effect, who thankfully has done a great job keeping this question relevant, and I appreciate it. Have you ever eaten a mangosteen?
I have.
Wait, what, really?
Yeah, I have. But it was like 2 months ago, so it's pretty recent, I'd say. And I liked it. A friend gave me a bit, and I tried it, and I liked it really. I think it tastes a lot like grapes.
That is a fascinating comparison. I have never heard that one before. Grapes. Yeah,
But I like it. It's a good fruit.
Okay, thank goodness. All right, we have your seal of approval. Good. All right. Okay. So the next two questions come from the same individual who there is no way under the sun I'm getting the name right. So I will just try the first one. MOCs. That's my best attempt. I apologize if that butchered it. Asks two questions. Do you like Sokoda? Do you like TF2, Team Fortress 2, and what do you think about Medic? And additionally, who's better as a Matoran, Kongu, or Onupu?
Okay, I've never played Team Fortress 2, and so I don't know a lot about Medic. So can't give you that much of opinion. But the Kongu Onepu thing, phew. I think Kongu is a cooler Matoran. I think he's more fun. He's more interesting, in my opinion. He's like riding the Gakko birds and having adventures. I think that's more interesting, in my opinion.
I agree. And it's definitely not because I'm biased toward any of the green characters. It's not. I swear.
It's a great color.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Oh, man. All right. So, in that case, the Dinosaur Planet asks, what is your favorite promotional Bionicle set? Tread carefully. I'm kidding.
I mean, I like good guy.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, everyone. That's the end of the episode, Sokoda. Just sign right here. This is the authorization of the blacklist. No.
Do promotional masks count?
So I just count those as like collectibles.
They're because you don't have to review them then.
No, darn it, because they're not buildable. You can't build anything with them. It's not a set of pieces.
Because I own one of these Ethereal Box 2001 masks.
Wait. What?
Yeah, those like copper colored masks from 01 that were like in cereal boxes. And I have one of those and it's a pretty nice mask.
They came in cereal boxes?
Yeah.
Today I learned. What?
I'm pretty sure they came in cereal boxes.
I gotta look this up. Because, yeah, what you're talking about, you're talking about the Copper Mask of Victory. Do you have a...
Yeah, the Huna.
Oh, you've got a Huna, okay. Copper Mask of Victory, there we go, thank you. Which wiki do you use?
BSO1, of course.
Thank goodness. I know there is a German wiki, but I don't know the quality of it.
There is? I didn't know there's a German wiki.
Fudge. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Yeah, Chronist wiki.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, here.
I didn't know it was German.
Oh, fudge. maybe I'm just wrong.
Yeah, no, it's German.
Okay, thank goodness. Yeah, here we go. So this is fascinating. So the Copper Mask of Victory in Germany. One Kanohi was included in Nesquik cereal packs for a certain time, and there was a slim chance at receiving a Copper Huna. The pack also featured information concerning the Copper Huna itself, although not corresponding to canon, since the mask was said to be several times more powerful than other Kanohi and had disappeared for a long time.
Looks like I've got an OP mask.
Clearly. Gosh, dang. Stop flexing on us, man. Oh, boy. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and expand it, from promotional set to just promotional items.
Yeah, then I guess that's my favorite.
Fair enough.
Because I don't have any of the other ones. I've built a good guy with pieces, but I don't have any other promotional sets.
Reasonable. My recommendation would be to firstly melt that good guy, and secondly...
Oh, LJ. I've got a story about that.
Nope, you have to tell it now.
I've bought pieces of eBay, and it had like a good guy with a burnt face. And I thought, Is this a new trend? Are people burning their good guys?
I don't know how I'd feel if that were the case. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. It wasn't mine, I'll tell you that much. It melted to nothing. There was nothing left of the good guy. Holy crud, that's excellent. Alright, next question is from Spidey Central. We're coming to the end here. Spidey Central, who asks, first, have you heard of Meso Man and Mangosteen Boy? I don't like the order of those. And secondly, do you have a favorite Toa? For me, it's a tie between Onua, Liwa, and Lesovic.
So Meso Man and Mangosteen Boy sounds like some kind of knockoff comic book.
That's the man. I know who those people are. I've never heard of it.
Is this your secret identity, LJ?
Listen, if it were, I'd be Mangosteen Man, dang it.
And the second question, my favorite Toa is Lee Khan. Yeah, he's my favorite. And of the Martyr, it's Kopaka.
Fair. I think it's pretty obvious who mine is. It's like, even Spidey Central, even like, LJ, when you were ranting, I made Liwa act like you. Please don't judge me. Trust me, I'm not judging, I'm encouraging. There are still too many people in this world who don't associate Liwa with my voice yet. I must change them. No, we can't. Alright. The Dinosaur Planet asks... Oh, wait, no, I skipped one again. Gosh, darn it. The Breakman823 asks... Do you have any interest in the modular buildings, and if so, what is your favorite?
I think they are cool. I especially like the interior designs. If like they are not just a front or a facade, and they have cool interior design and details. And my favorite, so I don't own any of them, but does Ninjago City count as a modular? But because if it counts, probably this one.
Yeah, I mean, I would consider it modular. It breaks apart, comes up and breaks up. And
I mean, I love Ninjago. That's a pretty obvious pick then.
Fair. Yeah, I can 100% vouch for Ninjago City. It's spectacular. So, all right. The Dinosaur Planet asks, what do you render with?
I render with a program called PovRay. And I use LDD to PovRay to like transform my LDD files to PovRay files so I can render them in PovRay. So if you Google LDD to PovRay, you'll find basically what you need if you want to do it the same way.
Excellent. All right. Next question is from Matizus. I apologize. Who asks... Two questions. Sokoda, 1, do you watch Bionicle? Which Bionicle YouTubers do you watch? And 2, do you watch Lego Rewind by Nick Anderson?
I watch TTV, RSG whenever they put out stuff. I watch... What else do I watch? Bionicle YouTubers? Let me think. Whenever there's new stuff like about Legend of Martinui, I watch that. I sometimes watch the BCC, although they aren't Bionicle YouTubers anymore, I guess.
This is true.
So yeah, I watch a whole lot of Bionicle YouTubers.
Okay, excellent. Vorovax asks...
and Lego Rewind?
Oh yeah, Fudge, yeah, Lego Rewind.
I haven't seen every episode, but I've seen a lot of them, and it's really interesting. So I like Lego Rewind.
That's good. I can also vouch for Lego Rewind. It's a really good series. Nick does a wonderful job with it.
Yeah.
He recently had an episode on Rescue that I thought was pretty excellent, pretty exceptional, and there's no other reason other than the sheer unfathomable quality of that specific episode that I am talking about it so much. So you should definitely check it out for no other reason than it is absolutely through the roof in quality.
Yeah, it's the best video if you want to learn stuff about Rescue.
This is true. But no, it is genuinely a good video, and he does a great job. All right, Vorovax asks, hi Sokoda and hi LJ. Sokoda, have you thought about submitting any of your system builds to Lego, or specifically Lego ideas?
Yes, I have. And I already have submitted stuff to Lego Ideas, which was Ninjago stuff of sets that later were made official sets without my influence. I built the Samurai X Cave, which later became a real set, and I built the the Stone Warrior, the Giant Stone Warrior, which later became a real set. And after that, I was kind of burned out on putting stuff up on Lego Ideas. But I have something planned that I might want to put up, but I don't want to tell it yet what it's going to be.
All right, listen, man. We've already determined that you're basically predicting these sets at this point, so I'm not saying that you absolutely should put this, oh goodness. I totally forgot the name, the temple.
The Shrine of Wind?
The Shrine of Wind, yes, there we go. I'm not saying you should put it on Ideas.
The problem with putting this up is the masks. Because Lego Ideas doesn't allow new pieces.
That's
That's why I can't upload it. So I can't do something where I have like exclusive pieces. So that's why I didn't put up any of these sets. But if I want to say it like Christian Faber, the idea I want to put up starts with B, I, and O. But it might take some time, so I don't want to say like when I put it up, I haven't built it yet. It's just an idea at the moment.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm sure whatever it is, it's going to be excellent. Matazus says, Sokoda, I recommend you watch Meet the Medic. Even if you don't play TF2, you will enjoy it. The Medic is a German doctor.
Some German jokes in there. Or what?
The Channel Fire says, hey LJ, did you have fun being nice on PR? You're gonna have to elaborate. I apologize, I don't quite follow, because nice on PR is one word, so I'm not sure if that's just nice in public relations, or if nice on PR is a person or a channel. You're confusing me. The Brickman823 asks, do you like auto racing?
Like in car racing?
Like F1 or IndyCar?
Although I'm German, I'm not that big into car races like this. Although it's pretty big here and people are really interested in Germany in like F1 and stuff like this. But it's not like my main thing or something like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got, over here we have, oh goodness, what's it called? Is it Indy 500? There's another name for it. I totally forgot. That tells you my expertise with racing.
Okay.
Like we have an equivalent over here, and it's like very, very prevalent. But yeah, no, never got into it. The Channel Fire also asks, and this is a good question, what do you guys think of the Faber thing going on?
So, should I start?
Yeah, no, please, by all means.
So, when it first came up, I was like, it was an April Fool, so I was skeptic, but I was like, okay, he wouldn't just post something like this, and because it would outrage like thousands of people. And I was like, really, yeah, this is a cool thing. We've got some new mystery, some cool stuff to discuss about, because we had a bit of a dry season in the last couple of months about Bionicle stuff. And I was like, yeah, this can only bring good things, because it's news, and if something comes from it, that's good. And if not, we still have like interesting discussions in the community and stuff like this. So I was very positive about it. And then I saw your videos, or Meso's video, like people are too hyped about it and stuff. And I was like, people aren't that hyped, are they? And then I looked at some of the comments under the posts. And some people are really like, if you bring it back, it has to be a continuation of one. You could use these colors for the villain sets. And I'm like, whoa, let this dude do his project. I wasn't expecting that some people would take it like this serious, but I'm still optimistic. I don't think it can't be bad. What comes out of this will be something new, Bionicle related, and I'm happy about it. So I'm basically, his art is beautiful. The art is beautiful. He uploaded today. It looks great. So I'm happy to see new Bionicle stuff, but people shouldn't overreact.
Yeah, no, I can basically echo that sentiment. Well, I know he released another picture today, and I've seen it. It's fine. It's just, listen, Faber, come on. There are a lot of people putting a lot of eggs in this basket. Don't let them down. That's it. All right.
But I think it's nice to hear that he's still interested in Bionicle and he hasn't forgotten about the community. And it's just generally a cool thing that one of the original creators like still working on Bionicle stuff.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. And it's always nice hearing from the original folks involved. Like I had Alistair Swinnerton on a few months ago.
Yeah.
And he was still, talking about it. Obviously, of course, he's also talking about his new book, or maybe not his latest book now, but oh goodness.
Yeah, back then.
Let me go ahead and reach over the Multiverse of Max Tovey, which I definitely recommend. There we go. Put that back. But it was cool hearing his thoughts and opinions on things. So, and Faber, just saying, if you need a Lewa. Okay. The Channel Fire clarifies, oops, I meant Nick on Planet Ripple, not nice on PR. There we go. All right. That makes a lot more sense. And it was a blast. I'm friends with Nick, and it was such a blast working with him, and I'm glad the video worked out really well. All right. Spidey Central asks, which Coley is better, soccer, football, or lacrosse?
I think lacrosse Coley is better. I think the sticks make it more interesting. And it's the only way Takua can show his sick move.
It's what the audience came for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree. I think there's a lot more interesting aspects to lacrosse Coley. But Spidey Central also asks, favorite Bionicle year, which I will forward to you first.
That's hard. I think my favorite year is 04.
It's a good choice.
I like the Metro. It's like the only Toa team I had all of, and I like the style of the bit more darker colors in 04. They had my favorite set, which is Lee Khan, my favorite Toa. And yeah, so 04 is great. The Vaki maybe aren't the strongest villains. I like the Baraki, for example, more, but I still think 04 is my favorite year.
That's good.
Story-wise as well, I like the 04 story a lot.
And yet, Legend of Metro Nui isn't your favorite film.
No, that's number 2.
That's a good pick. For me, 04 is my second favorite, but that's not because it's not as good as my favorite, which is 01. It's just because I really like 01. They're both really excellent years. All right. Here we go. The Dinosaur Planet asks, since LJ will be reading this is true. I'll have to style it by English pronunciation. Sokoda, is it Leva or Leva?
It's Leva, of course.
Duh. Now what? No. All right. Tesla Effect asks a few questions. What is your favorite Lego set that isn't Bionicle? And what is your least favorite set that isn't Bionicle?
Okay, like my favorite Lego set is probably either the Ninjago movie Destiny's Bounty.
It's a good one.
Or maybe the Republic Attack gunship from 2008.
Ooh.
Because I'm a huge Clone Wars fan, and this one has like the graffitis as a sticker on, and it has like the style it has in the Clone Wars. It was like my first bigger Lego set. So that's has a special place in my heart, I guess. And the Ninjago movie Bounty is like so full of Ninjago Easter eggs, and I love the Ninjago story so much. That's great.
Mm-hmm. All right. And your least favorite?
Least? I like all Lego, kinda. My least favorite set. Hard.
It's okay. You can take the easy route. You can take the easy way out and just say guitar. It's all right.
I don't have guitar, so I can. I also wanted to get guitar because he has great pieces.
Yeah.
He's like He's a good parts pack because I like the trans neon green, trans neon yellow.
Yeah.
These crystal pieces are really nice, so I can't hate that much on guitar. Maybe it's like this promotional bad guy who has like a Rotuka rotor on his stomach.
Oh, those are
Pretty bad.
Those aren't good. Trust me. Those are. Oof. Yikes. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. All right. In that case, the Brickman 823 asks, "What do you think of the new Harry Potter sets?"
Like the new ones that got released yesterday?
Yeah, the new ones. That were just shown.
I think they look nice. The structures look really nice, and the minifigures are great, in my opinion. The Patronus, the stag, also looks pretty cool. So I like them, but I also have to say, in the set with the Patronus, it's like 2 trees, a rock, and minifigures. And it's like, I can get a tree in other Lego sets. I don't need to buy a Harry Potter set for 2 trees. So, but the trees are built nice, so it's okay if you want to have like the scenery somewhere, but it's not a play set. So, but I think they're good sets.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. I don't have a strong opinion on them. I'm not a follower of the franchise, so I have no dog in this fight. No horse in this race. I should re-clarify. All right. Tesla Effects. Next question is, Sokoda, have you watched Reviving Bionicle? If so, hail Denmark.
I have watched Reviving Bionicle. I love Reviving Bionicle. As a German, I don't like to say hail.
That's perfectly reasonable and very understandable. Got it.
So, but Reviving Bionicle is great. It's so much fun, and I can recommend it to everyone who likes Bionicle. Even my mom likes it.
That's great.
I've showed her; she really liked it.
That's wonderful. I mean, it's so good. It's legitimately a really well done story.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we have another question. The Brickman. Yeah, that's the next one. The Brickman 823 asks, Sokoda, do you like the 501st Battle Pack movement?
I don't like spamming Lego or stuff like that, but I would probably buy a 501st Battle Pack because I love Clone Wars. I especially love clones and the Republic stuff, so I'd probably get a 501st Battle Pack if there was one. So I kind of support it, but please don't bother the Lego employees. They know you want it.
I think that's a good angle to look at things from. Yeah. All right. Okay, so we're going to make these next 2 questions from Tesla Effect the last 2 questions, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. So his first question is, I wonder, Sokoda, do you like The Last Jedi movie?
Oh. I actually do. But I don't... It's hard. I like all Star Wars. I'm like a super Star Wars fan. I like every Star Wars movie as long as I see like spaceships and the Star Wars species I have a good time. So I also had a good time watching The Last Jedi, and it had like gorgeous visuals. It was great looking. But I also have to accept that it has pretty major flaws, like the hold-on maneuvers, like why didn't they do this all the time? I don't know. But I don't think it's the worst Star Wars movie. I think The Phantom Menace is worse than The Last Jedi, but it's also not quite my favorite Star Wars movie. Mm-hmm. But I enjoy Star Wars like every time I see something Star Wars, I have fun. I love especially the Old Republic era stuff, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and The Last Jedi hasn't changed that.
All right, reasonable. Except for the part about liking The Last Jedi. That's very unreasonable. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit that out. So if I can just get you to say the words "I hate The Last Jedi," I'll just go ahead and edit that in its place. No, okay.
We have to do some post recordings.
Yeah, we're gonna have to doctor this. This is unacceptable. All of my guests have to hate that movie. That's fair. All right, in that case, we're going to make this the last question from Tesla Effect. Sokoda, what would you give to work with Lego and make G3 system sets?
What would I give? Is this like...
What will you sacrifice?
Exchange thing? Like, I have to give my arm to work at Lego or something like this.
What? No, you need the arm to work on the sets. Just give up a leg, dude. Come on.
I mean, I'd love to see G3 system Bionicle with Lego. I also like my body parts. I'd give my work, my effort, my best. Is that a good answer?
It's the one we'll accept. But yeah, no, that's fair. I guess that is a kind of a good branch off into kind of the end conversation we'll have very briefly, and that is, do you aim to be a set designer in any regard? Like, have you looked into the process? Have you looked into majoring in any kind of engineering, or have you tried to build up a resume, a portfolio with your sets? And is that something that you would eventually see yourself doing, is being a designer there?
It's a hard question. I've thought about it. I'm not really currently working on it. I'm at university. I'm on a engineering degree, working on it. But I'm not sure if I should apply. I've thought about it, but I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Well, as an outsider looking in on the Lego group, I think that you would probably do pretty well there, but again, that's just me. Speaking from a non-set designer perspective. That being said, I do have word from a set designer in Lego pertaining to our earlier conversation. I said I'm all good to say this. On the topic of the Naho boat with the old pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have those molds anymore, and they have not for a very long time. So,
okay,
that clears that up. That does come from a design.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, they are gone. But hey, Lego, I got a Miru if you want to copy it. But fair enough. I don't know. I think it's something that would be interesting to see you pursue, because obviously you're already doing such amazing model work in the community. But at the same time, would you ever really want to stop doing that as opposed to something else?
Yeah.
So that's fair. Okay. I think that about covers everything. However, Sokoda, I'm going to go ahead and let you have the floor for a moment. Go ahead and say anything you want to say to the community, to anyone listening, and just say anything you want.
Okay, so thanks for tuning in. I'm really grateful for this community. I'm not here for that long, and I found a lot of people who are interested in Lego and Bionic like me, and that's always great to have and to have a discussion. I'll definitely build more stuff, like weekly build. My next one's coming up in a couple of hours, maybe minutes even. and and of course, I'll build more mechanical stuff. So I'll always have fun doing that and looking at other creation, and always happy to talk about like newest stuff in Lego. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for looking at my MOCs.
All right. Fair enough. That works for me. And I mean, I'll I'll thank you. Heck, you know what? Thank you for making them. They're just so nice. They're fantastic.
Thank you.
Darn it, I will be making that Liwa statue now. I have to. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be this year, but it will happen eventually, and it will be on my desk.
The LDD file is linked in my, I think it's called, I have a topic. I don't know. The LDD file is linked, so if anyone wants to build any of my models, I normally link the LDD files on the board, so you can download them, and LDD can generate the instructions. Sometimes the pieces don't exist in the colors, but you can get the instructions.
See, now I'm scrolling through the topic, trying to find the link.
Yeah, I think I didn't do it back then.
I know.
But there is. I can find you a link where you find it.
Fair enough. Oh, you have them all in one place, is that right?
Yeah, I have Google Drive with like all my LDD files, and I'll link normally the specific file for the model under the post.
Fair enough. Okay, that makes it a lot easier, because then you can just kind of...
Yeah.
You get a parts list. And I'll figure out a way to get those prints. It'll happen. It will. But by that, I mean, like, get the prints, like, put on by someone.
Yeah.
That's what, not hold you at sword point and say, hey, give me those files. No. But, okay. In that case, Sokoda, is there anywhere on social media you would like to plug and like people to follow you at?
Yeah, of course. I'm on Twitter at @thesokoda. I'll upload my weekly builds there every Sunday. And also I'm on the TTV message board, of course, Sokoda. I'll normally upload all my stuff there as well. I have a YouTube channel, Sokoda. It only has one video at the moment. It's like my video entry for RSG's building contest. That's my only video I have public up there at the moment, but I have ideas to do some YouTube stuff maybe in the future. I'd like to do some video stuff. So if you want to know whenever that happens, that's the place. And yeah, that's basically all.
Fantastic. All right. In that case, links to those will be in the description below. I, of course, highly, highly, highly encourage anyone to check it all out. It's a good time. A visual treat is guaranteed. Okay, well, in that case, Sokoda, I think we're going to go and wrap up. Again, thank you so much for taking the time today. I really, really do appreciate it. This has been a blast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And additionally, thanks for doing this show. I'm here since the first episode, and I've learned a lot about the community, so thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm genuinely really happy about that. Well, thank you for watching it. So, all right, and of course, thank all of you for watching it as well. Hopefully, you've had a good time as well, and got to enjoy this and learn something, and got to be introduced to some new wonderful creations. So, thank you all so very much for listening, and hopefully, had a good time. Let me know in the comments below if there is anything that you want to say, want to speak on the subject, point out some things you noticed, or just gush as I have about these wonderful creations as well. All right, that will be about it. This has been yet another episode of The Eljay Johnsen Show. This show airs every single Saturday, every weekend at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, unless specified otherwise, over on Twitter at The Eljay Johnsen, where you can find updates and guest announcements every single Tuesday. And if you have any questions of the week, make sure you head on over to my email, ljjohnson@gmail.com, where you can ask me any questions, and I'll do my darndest to get back to you or ask them on the show. Remember, that's JOHNSEN. All right, that about covers it. Once again, thank you all so very much, and we will see you next time. Have a great day.
Bye.